Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. It is the premiere of The Amazing Race 33. We got to talk about it.
It's here. Oh, so many things got in the way, but they made it back. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And if you want to support us on Patreon, you can find us at patreon.com/nerdtainment. Join us over there as well.
Yeah, you can. Welcome, everybody. The Amazing Race is here. It premiered. It happened. And David and I say this every time, but it is an adjustment to recap Amazing Race.
Listen, you brought it up. I wasn't going to complain on camera, but I'm going to complain now. That 2 hour, like my brain, Sarah, I was like, I'm going to go on the stream and I'm going to act like it's all good, easy breezy. I got this. I'm a professional, Amazing Race recapper.
Totally.
I am coming clean, y'all. My brain hurts from following. It's just a different experience watching the show. It's so fast paced. There's so much going on. Teams are everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just hard to track everything, but we're here. We're going to get used to watching The Amazing Race again.
Yeah, it's just a different way of taking notes. It's not really complaining. It's just a way of getting our brain back into a show that doesn't air regularly enough for us.
Yeah.
We want it more anyway. But yeah, they're all over the place and we try to keep it somewhat streamlined for you guys so that we all can be on the same page here. But we're going to start at the top. Well, Phil first has to sort of check in with us and be like, it's different.
Remember, it's COVID. Yeah.
Things are gonna happen. And if you watched our little preseason cast assessment video, you know all the deets. We're gonna have 3 legs pre-COVID, but we've had 2 tonight, so it's just next week.
Well, yeah, the preview was like, we're shutting down, y'all. So
we are shutting it down.
I will say, I felt so nostalgic for pre-pandemic life, seeing as they were scanning Trafalgar Square and there were all those crowds out there. I was like, oh God, I feel like this is must be one of the last shows that, is now being released that taped anything pre-COVID.
Oh yeah, right. I mean, there was a time when the flight attendants got something right or something, or got an information, and she reached out and hugged a stranger. And I was like, well, you can't touch strangers. What are you doing?
Penn kissed the queen. I was like, you just killed that woman. Stop.
You killed her.
Can't do this.
You killed her. She got sick and died. You cannot do that anymore. But I think people in the chat are like, 2 legs, 2 hours. It was a lot. Didn't need it. But I think they're just rushing us through these first 3 legs.
Yeah.
Because it's a different show after episode 2, starting episode 3. So I think they were like, hit us with 2 of them right up here at the top. And I'm okay with it.
Yes, me too. You know what else I'm okay with? This opening where they all get a cell phone message from Phil. I said they need to do this for Big Brother. Get rid of those dumb keys where they somebody opens up their dishwasher and is like, oh my God, I'm going to the Big Brother house. No, let's lose that. And let's get a video message from Julie Chen telling them to come to the studio now. They're going to be on Big Brother.
Because there's a camera in your face.
Yeah.
You know what's happening. Let's not pretend. Yes, it was great. But then they actually left. They didn't even fake that. There were actual taxi cabs. That they got into, and we're on the race. I loved it. Here we go. We're headed to London first. You know what? Yes, Adrian, hold up a glass for Mike Limo because they were in my top 3 prediction, David. Oh boy.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, no,
my sweet singing cops did not make it past leg 1. That's probably my worst showing yet.
Yeah, that's a cold take, I think they would call that.
Yeah. So I personally love London. Do you guys know how obsessed I am with
I am aware.
All things English, but especially royalty. I mean, who was it who couldn't find Buckingham Palace? Lulu and Lala.
Oh,
and I was like,
twins.
It's huge.
Yeah.
You can't miss it. Ask somebody. They all know where it is.
They didn't even know what Big Ben was, these people.
I can't. The
who
knowledge
doesn't know what Big Ben is?
of London was so horrible. It was hilarious. It was too bad that it was funny.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Do I need to back up? I got a little too excited.
We got ahead.
We're going to London.
We're in the cabs on the way to the airport. We're starting to see some of the teams like interacting at the airports. I did like kind of wonder because when they do the map graphic and they're like teams are flying from the United States to the United Kingdom, they showed like 4 flight originations across the country. I wondered like, did they just send them all to like the nearest major airport? It was like Chicago, New York, LA, and one other place that they all flew out of. So it was like, I didn't really pay attention to like who was meeting who in LA and whatnot, but.
Right. Well, I only really it jumped out at me when they were in the Charlotte airport because I fly in and out of the Charlotte airport all the time to go to Asheville to see my sister. Okay. And the Holderness and the is it Connie and Sam? I believe their name. The 2 North Carolina teams were flying out of Charlotte, and they were like, "Hey, what's up? Who are you? What's going on?" I was like, "You never see the Charlotte airport on this show."
Truly, yeah. But that was one of them. Yeah. And then I'm sure once they landed in London, they must have held them all back.
Yeah.
Like everybody got through customs or whatever it is, and then it's like, okay, now y'all have to wait because it was like mad dash for the cabs. And all of the teams, it looked like, were arriving in London at exactly the same time. So I'm sure they were like, okay, wait, and now go, now that we're in London.
Right. They all got their like information and they ran out. So as we're doing this, though, I do want to just point out like Akbar and Sherry got the first little package about them. And they got Oprah in their package. So they're very special. Anthony and Spencer, boy, they're like right to that story. They're like, let's get to the deep stories, guys.
That's right.
Right into it.
And then Sarah, another deep story. Raquel and Kayla are bonding over wine. They are actually friends, you guys. I said this to Sarah before the stream. I was like, can you believe Raquel and Kayla are actually friends? And Sarah was like, you fell for that?
You fell for it? They said wine. They bonded over wine. That's the most basic thing. We've got man keeping kids alive as principal. We've got Anthony and Spencer literally keeping people alive.
Literally.
And then we've got flight attendants bonding over wine, y'all. What?
Yes. But here's what I'm going to say about them. In our preseason video, we were like, because, they made the comment in their package where they were like, people are going to underestimate us. And we both were like, yeah, it's us. That's us. And
we have to say,
on the first
we did.
Yeah.
This first episode, they showed us what's up about what.
They did.
I underestimated them. They came out way stronger. I mean, granted, their knowledge of all things London was very disappointing.
Yeah.
But they're very entertaining. I like that they can laugh at each other and themselves.
That's right.
And they were actually very good at the race. So yes, major props to them.
Yeah. So once I think we also get a package from Ryan and Dusty, like you say, like the deep, intense stories are just right here at the top, really highlighting all these people. So we get the story of, Ryan being convicted of that crime. And he's actually like sharing that with the other teams. We see that happening. Like he's
right at the airport.
Yeah.
Right at the airport. I'm a free man now.
The first thing you need to know about me is I spent 10 years in prison for a murder I didn't commit.
Whoa, that's heavy. Okay.
I know.
Yeah. All right. But now we're going to go to Trafalgar Square.
Exactly. That's how all of the teams probably said it.
Square. And Connie and Sam, right off the bat, are going to get in the wrong taxi that's going to take them a different way. And whenever you're going a different way, rarely is it the correct way.
Rarely, but they are hoping for the best. They're like, maybe it's a shortcut. I guess we'll find out. But, they're very quickly getting this edit of like, we're lost, we're behind, we're struggling. And that kind of like continues on through a lot of the episode. But they have to find these like silly human phone booths when they get to Trafalgar Square. And I love when they have like actors doing things on The Amazing Race. Because like there was that one guy who was really leaning in where he was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm afraid I only have 2 clues. And like, they were running out of clues at certain points.
100%. I'm going to be that actor dressed up, handing out clues, going, no, I don't have it for you. Where will you find it?
I couldn't possibly give you a clue. I'm all out. And then there were other phone booths who just handed the clue out when people ran up to them.
No. Yeah. I felt the same way when I saw the queen in the restaurant. I was like, oh, ham it up, queen. Let's go.
She was living her best life. She was
Loving
like, this is
it.
the role I was born to play. Look at me.
Yes.
I look exactly like her.
She did. I thought Kim Holderness thought it was actually the queen there for a second. I was worried. About her. Okay, well, we're finally gonna get Sam's story mixed in here. He's the high school coach that took in a kid, but unfortunately they're also lost at this point, and they can't find Buckingham Palace. They're wandering around.
Right.
Lulu and Lala can't find Buckingham Palace at some point. They're wandering around again. It's huge.
It's really hard to miss.
It's so hard to miss.
Also, just ask. Everybody speaks English in London. Like, this is the easiest foreign country to get around in, except for maybe Canada, right? Like, it's really not hard to just stop someone and be like, well, they're like, because the twins are like trying to read maps, and they're like, where's Buckingham Palace? And then they finally ask, and they're like, why didn't we ask earlier? Like, this
you are so surrounded by people. You're not in a remote place. Everyone knows where the palace is. Just ask. Right. Just ask.
Right.
All right, our first detour. We're going to go to an artist den or Digi Ben. Why are you calling it Diggy Ben? It's Digi Ben.
They just can't pronounce anything. And it's an English-speaking country.
It's English.
Which would you have chosen? Because don't they just get the titles and then they have to
decide? They don't get much information here.
Yeah.
They apparently didn't get the information that it was a puzzle, because at first I'm saying puzzle all day long. David and I will do a puzzle.
Yeah.
But also, I highly recommend not doing the task that makes you go from location to location. You're just opening the door
to get
lost, get confused. Anything can happen if you have to move locations. So I think you and I would have done artist, and I would have forced you. What would you?
I would have gone along with you, but I probably would have been drawn to Digi Ben because I would have thought it's Big Ben. Like, I know what Big Ben is, and I can find that. Like, because I don't think they necessarily knew in advance that they were going to hop location to location. So I would have been drawn to that. But you're right. I would have listened. You would have been like, "Shut up, David," and then you would have.
Yeah, that's exactly how it would have gone. I smacked you, said, "Shut up." And we would have moved on. But I think we probably would have been just fine with DigiBen, because I think we know London a little bit better than most of these teams.
Did you know that a Bobby was a cop? Because I didn't.
What? In 3, 2, 1, I'm about to make fun of them for not knowing what a Bobby is. David Marker.
Yeah, sorry about
that. Wait, why don't I know your middle name? Because I really wanted to just throw it out right then.
James.
David James Marker. A Bobby is a cop. What?
Now I know. You learn things by watching Amazing Race, everybody.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you for the support.
No. Nope. Nope. Unacceptable. Oh no, a lot of you didn't know.
Okay, see, it's not the most common slang. Like,
okay, to be fair, I watch a lot of British murder mysteries.
Yeah, exactly. You should not be the barometer of acceptable knowledge of English slang. You are obsessed with everything British.
I was about to say, I might know a little bit more than the average bear. Anyway, yes, a Bobby is a cop. Okay. Yeah. That's so funny though, watching them be like, it says the Bobby? Is it a thing?
Right. It's not a person. It says
a
the
person
Bobby.
Named Bobby? Yeah. All right. So this is when it gets really messy and complicated. We're going all around, and a lot of people are going to be a bit lost and confused who choose the DigiBen here. They're gonna get confused about a Bobby.
Yeah.
Then oh my God, who was it? Connie said Westminster.
Oh.
She said Westminster Abbey.
They thought it was Big Ben.
And they thought that was Big Ben.
I was like, no, Big Ben is a clock. Come on.
Kate and William got married at Westminster Abbey. Doesn't everyone know what that looks like?
Okay, poll in the chat. who watched the wedding? I know Sarah did, but did you watch Will and Kate's wedding in the chat? Let us know.
I watched it twice, but if you didn't even watch it, did you just like see a news clip of Westminster Abbey and their wedding? Like, no, is this just me? Oh gosh.
I don't know that I would have looked at it and said, that's Westminster Abbey, but I definitely would have looked at it and said, that is not a clock, and therefore it is not Big Ben.
Right. True. It is not a clock. It's right. Like, I think you just have to turn around.
Oh, you're right. They're right next to each other.
If you're standing at Westminster, you just look the other way. It's right there.
Right.
So they were very, very close.
Yeah.
Okay. What else
the
is happening? Raquel and
Kayla
arrive first and they choose DigiBen, but I just want to say they got there first.
Exactly. Yep. Those flight attendants got there first. The other storyline, like in addition to Sam and Connie being lost, the twins being lost, it's a lot of Akbar and Sherry are just walking. Sherry is not finding that extra gear. She's like, Akbar slow and steady wins the race. He's like, no, it doesn't.
No.
It loses the race.
That's not I loved them. I mean, I know that it was probably frustrating for them, but this was very cute. She's like, I had 3 kids. I'm not the basketball player I used to be, which is something we talked about.
We did. We were like, it was college basketball.
It was college.
It's a long time ago.
So a lot has happened since you last played basketball, and he has less patience for it than she has the oomph to like go for it. I think
she literally told him to shut up at one point.
Yeah.
He was like, you have to stop nagging me. It's not going to make me run. And then he's like in the cab and, he's like, I just don't want like tiredness to turn people into cowards or something. I'm like, Akbar, that is not going to be.
I was like, that's a jump. That's a huge leap you just made there. All the way to coward. I was like, whoa. But I can definitely see how he like can run a school and like get people to get their life together. That I see out of him.
Oh yeah.
But it is different when it's your wife being no, I'm just not going to run.
Yeah, it's your wife. What I sort of noticed about this, the one where they do 2 is the detour, right? Not a roadblock.
Right. So after, this is the detour. Yeah.
Okay. So this detour in particular, it seemed like the DigiBen people, even though it's like, taking them a while, some people are getting lost, they're able to like get going on that kind of right away.
Right.
It's taking the Art Den people a bit of time to even get to the place. Like I think it was the Love Island couple and the Holdernesses are like the first 2 to get to the Art Den. But we'd seen a lot of like DigiBen activity, it felt like, before we even started at the Art Den. And then that thing was very complicated to figure out. This like puzzle situation. They didn't even realize it was a puzzle at first.
They didn't say it's a puzzle. So way to go. Ray and Carl and Kim and Penn are able to go, are we going to throw this up? Or is there a pattern of something? Let's lay it down on the floor. Thank goodness they did that, because our poor sweet cops who I was rooting for, put them in my top 3.
They said, great.
Just let's go to town. Slather it.
That's down here. And then they're like,
it's art.
It's all on the wall. You're telling me that's not art?
It's art. One of them was like, it's graffiti. The other one's like, graffiti is art. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes to both of you, but also you're on The Amazing Race. So let's just pause for a second and think this through. They did not. So that's going to backfire on them.
Yeah, I thought it was with watching the Holdernesses figure out this puzzle. It was interesting hearing him talk about his ADHD and how hyper focus is an element of that. I didn't know that. And he's able to just like zero in on the details of this puzzle and really solve it quickly. I think they did like end up making a couple of mistakes, but I just didn't know that about ADHD.
Right. Yeah, that seemed very useful, especially in this situation. But there, it was still going to be difficult. You did have some lines you really needed to pair up, but also when you finally paste it on the wall, there couldn't be gaps and stuff like that. So there were definitely some things that they had to like sort of redo and push around. But those 2 teams are going to kind of like lead us in this art area.
But DigiBen, it's like happening. People are like finishing it now. Like Anthony and Spencer, Ryan and Dusty find Digiben very quickly. They're like the two teams in the lead coming out of this detour. And their next clue is find the queen and Boris eating. And
yes,
here's another moment, Sarah, where people are like, who's Boris?
I've heard of the queen, but who's this Boris fella?
I think it was Akbar who's asking his cab driver, what's he look like?
Yeah, what's he like? Well, you know what? Honestly, that's a good question.
It is a great question.
Even if you're like, I vaguely think that's a political figure, you want to know what he looks like.
Yep.
In case you missed what the queen looks like, who's sitting right next to him.
I was going to say, like, just look for the queen.
Because they didn't tell you Boris is going to have a bike helmet on.
What was that?
fresh in off of the street, having his helmet on, still to have.
Like, is he known?
Somebody else said, "What's a nosh?" And I think they said a nosh or something like that. I was like, "No, nosh is not even an English word, right? We say that here."
Well, Sarah, we speak English.
I mean British English, like a bobby, like an English term.
Yes, not British slang. Yeah, right. No, we say nosh here for sure. We're just all sorts of turned around.
David's like, what language do we speak? Okay, my notes here get a little confusing because I'm just like, guy teams. Right now, the guy teams are working together, and I'm just like, who are all the guys? I don't know all the guys.
Yeah.
There's like a vague guyness happening in Digiben.
We got to come up with some sort of like mnemonic device. Like Anthony and Spencer, they were the terrorist people.
They're not terrorists.
They're not terrorists. They stopped
heroes. Hashtag
so they are AS. I'm trying to think of something. We'll think about that.
Once they split up, it gets a little bit easier. But at first, I was like, no, dudes are all in the running in the lead. I don't know.
Yeah, right. But the flight attendants are right behind in third place.
Yes, flight attendants are right there. Connie and Sam are searching for a Bobby still. They do not know what it is or where it is. They are right there, though.
I thought it was going to be one of those moments where he walks right by it and is like, Bobby, and never connects. But like, thank God the cop was like, I'm a Bobby. What are you looking for?
Yeah. He's like, yeah, you want to say it? You want to look at me? You want to talk? Let's connect because I have something for you.
And Sam's like, I told you it was a person.
She's like, oh, okay. Lala and Lulu are going to show up last to the artist thing.
Yeah.
And they are going to be there last with the cops who are going to eventually learn that they have to redo this. But then their stuff is so wet that I think they were eventually giving them new pieces, right?
A whole new set of puzzle pieces. It was like,
it was really such a mess
to watch. But the art judge was very particular about the art being clean, everything lining up. It wasn't just like get everything roughly in the right order. Like these are puzzle pieces that have to fit together properly. You know, it's not just like get them in the correct order, left to right. No, you got to make it look real nice. So many people are getting like bad checks, but I do think you're right that the cops just have the worst of it because they pasted it all up first, like you said, and then had to rip it down, put it back up. It's all just like falling apart. So they do have to start completely over eventually.
Yeah, I was like, they're never going to get it right. They can't like put the little pieces all together. So yes, give them fresh pieces. Let them do it.
Right.
And then, so we do find, like you said, Queen and Boris, they're getting their clue from them. And we do see that Ryan and Dusty get their clue first. Anthony and Spencer are basically there at the same time, which is interesting because one took a cab and one ran.
Yeah.
But can I just say, because now we're going into the pit stop here, those 4 dudes are so chill, especially Anthony and Spencer, who are about to come in first. They are like, hey, get the clue. Let's move on to the pit stop. Like they have this like non-rush race vibe about them, which kind of annoyed me for a split second because I was like, how are y'all winning?
Yeah. And how do y'all know y'all are winning? Like, you don't know how long the art den thing took. Like, you have no idea if the other half of the teams who went to the other half of the detour are potentially all done. Like
That's
hustle
true.
here a little bit,
The art thing could be totally done and you have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is like the chillest leader pack
Very
I
chill.
remember in a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go to the Natural History Museum here for our first pit stop. It was beautiful, beautiful backdrop. Love this choice.
Very beautiful. Yeah.
Anthony and Spencer are going to hit that mat first.
That's right.
They're going to win a trip to Turks and Caicos.
Turks and Caicos. And then Dusty and Ryan are second. And then the flight attendants, Raquel and Kayla, are third, defying our expectations. Good for them.
Good job. Way to hang. You guys did not know a lot about London, even though you told us you had been there several times.
Yeah.
So I was very impressed with how they got through.
I know.
And navigated this leg.
Well,
and
they were like, oh, we've been to London for layovers many times for work. So we know the Piccadilly Circus station. And then it like cuts to them being like, do we go in it? Like, it's one of those great edits that they give us,
I too have been to Piccadilly station. I think most travelers go through it. Yeah. Doesn't mean you know the rest of the town, right. But yes, loved it. Loved them, enjoyed them much more than I thought that I might. Yeah. So then our fourth team is going to be the Holdernesses. They get up there. They're in it, top 5. Good job.
So they were the first ones through the art den piece of it, right? So
yes,
they have the most success there. But like the people who are slow on DigiBen are still kind of lapping some of these people at the art den, or passing them, right? Because we see like Akbar and Sherry strolling up to DigiBen, Sarah. Like, no, talk about a chill, non-hustling team. Like they just are walking through Piccadilly.
One of them has been hustling and the other one is struggling to keep up. So they get to a point where they're just moving at that pace, and that's
just gonna walk. And that's it. And hopefully that's enough. Thank God they didn't have the art den. Yes,
they're going to have a conversation after this, probably about this first leg, I do believe. Yes. But Caro and Ray are going to come in 5th here, then Akbar and Sherry. Oh, hello. Oh, I'm sorry, David. That. Are we keeping you from something?
My goodness. Let me turn my FaceTime off. How embarrassing.
I mean, let's just bring them in. Who wants to chat with us?
Sorry about that.
So Caro and Ray, and then Akbar and Sherry. I mean, bless. I thought that we might be losing them.
I know.
This leg. They're only 6. God. 6, not bad.
I know. Thank God they chose DigiBen. That's the only thing that saved them. I think they may have gone home. And then, Connie and Sam are also finding DigiBen, and all of a sudden they're in, 7th place.
7th place. What? I thought we also might be losing them this leg. Yeah. So yeah, good on them. They got up there. So 8th place, Taylor and Isaiah are going to get in. They did do the art, but they did all right. They got 8th place, and then our dad and daughter, Arun and Natalia, are going to come in 9th here.
Yeah, they didn't get a whole lot of camera time. Neither did the husbands, Taylor and Isaiah. So I guess it was just sort of like not great.
They were just kind of putting it together. Yeah.
But
then we're going to be down to our last 2 teams here.
And this is drama because the cops get out of art den first and leave the twins. And I really thought it was going to be that thing where they like edit it like it's, close, but really the twins are just so far behind because they're like bickering. It's like, this is why you cast sisters on this show. It's just so good the way they argue. Their relationship is just so like they love each other so much and hate each other sometimes.
You can say anything to your twin sister. Yes. There's no holding back. I don't love it when a married couple is like bickering at each other and you're kind of like, oh dear, there are like deep issues here. But when you are twins, you can say anything and it's okay. Right.
Yeah, you're not divorcing your twin ever. No, you get to say whatever you want.
Right. You know how to handle each other. You know what to expect. Their relationship is very incredible to watch because it is deep love as well, like you said.
Yeah.
But yeah, our sweet cops here, who I was rooting for, they get out. The poor twins are like so sad. But then they like take a longer route or take a wrong turn. They're walking down the street.
Yeah.
While the twins just jump out, go in, check in with the queen, and are getting back in their taxi.
Yep. That's right.
When the cops are just now seeing the restaurant.
Yeah. So, I don't know what happened there, but the twins are like, well, I'm pretty sure we just passed the cops. Like, that's a good
Yeah.
sign. And then they are 10th place and the cops are last. And I really thought you were going to be right, Sarah, that this first leg was going to be the non-elimination as sort of like it's all good, like stay for one more. But they had no mercy on the singing.
No mercy. It gets me every time. Like, what? Just give me a non-elimination on that first. Like, come on.
I know.
These guys just got there. It was so sad. But yes, I mean, exciting for Lulu and Lala, who just walk onto that mat. And he's like, yeah, y'all are 10th place.
Yeah.
They're very happy. But then poor Michael and Mo, he's like, y'all are eliminated.
That sucks. And they sing, they
give us a song.
They give us a little song, but they're gone. And
yeah,
sad to see them go. It's just always a bummer, whoever goes first.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
But you know what? They gave us a real error. They did not put the pieces together in any way. They just put them up on the wall. And that's an actual race error. So whereas like people getting kind of in a wrong taxi or getting turned around, that's unfortunate. That happens and that will get you eliminated. Yeah. It's not a real error, right?
Totally. And I feel like with the cops, like, you didn't look around and see that other people were like arranging it in a beautiful, Union Jack kind of way. So yeah, it was just a legit error. And that is what took them out. But
yeah, there was one shot. I think it was when Aruna and Natalia got it and they left and it like panned and the cops were right next to them. And I thought, why wouldn't you just go see when someone's done and they got it right? Go see what they did. Like, that's a good time.
Yeah.
You don't have to like cheat or whatever when it's happening, but
exactly. Yeah.
But thank you for singing to me, Michael and Mo. I appreciate it.
Yes. The other thing I liked about this pit stop was when the Holderness team shows up to check in and Phil's like, all right, do not let these young people take it. Okay. I just saw a bunch of millennials land on that first, and you need to step it up and keep me company on this show. Okay.
He was like, do it for no, he phrased it better because he was like, it doesn't always have to be young people. And they're like, yes, thank you.
Yes, we are old.
40s is not old, but yes, for television, we're old. We are like, barely put together apparently for reality TV. So yeah, Phil was like, let's go. Come on.
Yeah, right.
Well, let's get right into leg 2 because that's what we're doing for this 2-hour premiere.
That's right. We have to go to the mail rail. It seems like they, sleep overnight in London. Wake up, go to the mail rail. Did you know what the mail rail was, Sarah?
Okay, no, I did not know. This is not something we know.
That's like,
what? You didn't know what the mail was? But it's very cool. It's underground.
Yeah, it's very cool. I was like, this is really kind of amazing that this is how they legitimately used to deliver mail. It's such a cool thing. And for these people to be able to experience it, like we say this every season, but like this is the kind of stuff. It's like once in a lifetime opportunity to see this by being on the show. And it's cool for us to see them do it. But we do get at the top here of the second hour, the Holdernesses are feeling old. They're feeling it the next morning. And then Penn eats it right there on the street. I was like, is he going to get up from this or is he out?
That edit was too much. That was a lot.
Yeah.
That was, and it was a hard fall. I was surprised that he bounced up at all. Yeah. It would have taken me a good hour to get back up after that. That was a hearty fall. But Anthony and Spencer are supposed to start us off on this leg, and they are going to just not find a taxi for a minute.
Can't get a cab. Yeah.
While everyone else has no trouble whatsoever. You're in a major city. It's London. Find a taxi.
I know. Yeah, I a bit shocked that they were having such a hard time, but it ends up being Ryan and Dusty who are first to this mail rail, which is a roadblock. So they have to, pick which one of them is going to do it. Ryan's going to do it for this team, but they're riding that, train car, and then they have to look for the clue amongst the mail. And this ends up being very challenging for some teams.
Okay, this is one of the easiest tasks you're ever going to see on The Amazing Race. And I don't mind it because you have to wait for a train to come back. So you can be so quick. But a team is coming on that next train, or maybe you just missed the train and you find, and then now you've got a new team there with you. I like that because it's just mixing it up, and it can still be an easy task. Ryan, like you said, he's going to go down there. He's going to grab one, get the heck out of there
before any other team
shows up. Way to go, Ryan.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Right.
Raquel and Anthony, they're going to go down together.
And somehow Anthony has a really hard time with this.
Raquel, very smart. She's like, let me just empty the whole thing first.
Yep.
Because Anthony is going to go through every package. Which, yes, go through every package, but let's empty it out first, right? Do the easier stuff first.
I know. I think I might have been that person who's like ripping open the envelopes and like, look, nobody was even like doing that at first. I was like, why is nobody thinking like the clue could be inside this envelope? But I guess you kind of know that the Amazing Race clue card is a certain size. So it's probably not in like a tiny, post office sized envelope, I guess is the thought. But I mean, her strategy was so much better than his, and she gets it in like 30 seconds. And she's like on the train back, and she's like, whoa, I totally beasted it. And then it's Spencer, I think, who's waiting. And he's like, well, that was anticlimactic. I really was hoping to see Anthony on that.
Yeah, that's not how he wanted that to go. Anthony is going to eventually get it, but this is when it becomes hilarious.
Yes.
Because Ray's down there, Penn's down there.
They find
it immediately. The easiest thing ever, and they just can't grasp that it would be that easy.
It can't
be that easy.
Be this. Raquel was like, it is this easy. Get me out of here. And Penn and Ray, they were feeding into each other. They were like, let's work side by side. They obviously went into this thinking like, this is going to be hard. Let's help each other. And so then when they didn't need to help each other at all, they were like, what are we missing? Right. Literally, Sarah, they're going to commercial as they're like counting the number of misters on the cover of these envelopes. I'm like, what? No. Stop.
I definitely understand being like, let me be thorough before I go back to the top and I've done something wrong.
Yeah.
But what are you counting? When Ray's like, there's 14 Lindsays, I'm like, for what reason? What?
They might ask us about the stamps. We got to study the stamps.
I really do think that any other team, like, because Ray was like, I think he was suspicious the way Anthony was like, whatever. Ray's like getting all concerned. Any other team would be like, well, I'm going to go. Good luck to you, Ray.
Because I think they also get down there and they see Anthony having such a hard time and taking a long time. So they're like, ooh, he has the clue now, but it took him a while to find it. So what aren't we doing here that he did? But he's straight up like, guys, you have it. Like you just have to find the envelope with the Amazing Race on it. He didn't, add like, I'm just an idiot who took 15 minutes to sort through all the mail. He was like, oh, you did it.
No, and he didn't run over and go, yeah, you guys, we got it. He was just like,
it's this one, right? Yeah,
you have it. We're in a race. But so I am shocked because obviously Anthony's gonna get on his train. He's gonna go up. Ray and Penn are gonna stay down. So that's the first train they missed. When the second one comes with somebody, they're not gonna get on that one either. They're going to miss 2 trams back up
before they get back.
Because the last group is several people, and they're like, "Yeah, we got it." Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, it was that easy." Okay.
It was that easy. Okay, it's just this clue. It's this clue, and so when they get back, like, of course, Kim and is it Caro?
Yeah.
Right. They're like, what took so long? And they're like, oh my God, we just wasted like 30 minutes. We got to get out of here. And Caro is letting Ray have it in the taxi.
Yeah.
She's like, what? Why did it take you that long? You had the clue in your hand. Why wouldn't you just leave? And he's like, I don't want to hear anything from someone who wasn't there in the situation. Okay. Next time there's a roadblock, I want to see you do it in 2 minutes flat. Like he's just not having any of her criticism.
No, nor would I. I mean, it was interesting to see, you know, this married couple forever. They've got 3 kids. And he's like, oh, no. And she's like, oh, it's okay. She's like supportive. Then Ray's like, I screwed it up. And she's like, don't you ever do that again. And he's like, don't you ever tell me to not do that. Like, that's a brand new couple that barely knows each other who just met on a reality show.
He's literally like, I've never seen him in a stressful situation. Then did you notice that they have their like end of the race interviews? She's doing it alone on the bench.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, did they break up in this moment? And he's not here. It seemed like it was just a bathroom break or something because he was eventually back in the interview with her. But I was like, this is hilarious that they're cutting to her by herself at the pit stop.
Yeah, I did. I mean, they honestly are like, we just met and we were just in the perfect bubble of a situation on Love Island. And now we're actually going to see how you react to stressful situations. And, you know, maybe they're not a couple that's going to work out. Maybe.
I think we know that.
Fast forward a year later and it's not going to work out for them. Okay. So Taylor finishes up. Lulu and Lala are arriving there last, as Taylor is second to last.
Yes,
to leave
right.
there. But we're moving to Leicester Square.
That's right. And they're getting their detour clue here. And this is Bullseye versus Decorate. They have to choose between, you know, it's darts and cakes. I don't think they necessarily know those details, but they know Bullseye versus Decorate. I think I would have gone for...
Yeah, where are we going, David? What are we doing
I'm
here?
good at darts. So
I'm good at darts too.
But I would have been maybe afraid that it was like archery and not darts.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I might have gone for Bullseye over Decorate because I just don't, those detail challenges can sometimes just take so long.
I know. I agree. This one would have been tough to figure out too, because, you know, even though I can be good at darts sometimes doesn't mean that I'm going to get it. And then like we both have to get it at the same time. That's harder.
Yeah.
Because I could get it one time and then you could get it, you know, anyway. So the decorating might take a little bit longer, you think, but you might get it quicker. I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, this decorating challenge turned out to have many layers of difficulty to it. But Dusty and Ryan are at the bullseye, through the bullseye. Like, they're just really not challenged by anything on this leg of the race, it seems. Just like really flying through everything. But we see the flight attendants and Anthony and Spencer. These are, you know, our sort of our first 3 teams. And they are going to the cakes. And this is about, do you know which countries are in the EU? And then, can you decorate a cake cleanly?
Yes. Right. Well, it's a little tricky because there's a big thing called Brexit.
That's right.
I think you probably have heard of it, but apparently not everyone has. But that actually means the UK is no longer in the EU. So it's almost like a trick question. It's like, which ones are in the EU? It's not everything that you think it is.
Yeah.
But if you go on The Amazing Race and do not know your country flags,
I can't
what are you doing? You know? I
can't help you. The fact that Anthony is like, I know that flag, and Spencer's like, well, where is it from?
But
and he's like,
what is it?
I don't know. I just have it on a shirt. So it's definitely in the European Union. It's like, what is that logic?
Clothing can come from anywhere. And actually, there's like no law that like only the EU can put flags on clothing. No. That's not a thing.
But also, like, who doesn't know the French flag and the German flag? Go with the 2. Why would you go with a flag that you don't know what the country is, that you aren't certain which country it is? Like, forget it. Go with Germany.
Forget it. Yes, Laura, we talked about this in our cast assessment video, but if you guys have missed that, they broke up
They did
and
not make
so our assumption is they will not return after the reset, but that is just our assumption. But we do know that they are not a couple anymore. Yep. This is true.
But what I did love is the Anthony and Spencer see that the flight attendants are doing the UK, and they don't say anything. They just
they do not
make that cake.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. If they had helped them, I would have been mad. But I was also very excited to find out that they're French citizens because, as we also covered in the cast assessment video, they got a medal.
That's right.
From France.
Yep.
Because their whole shebang.
That's right.
It's bigger than a shebang. It was in France. But that's so cool that they're now French citizens.
Yeah, I know. Very cool.
So they have to do the French cake.
But they are not Norwegian citizens because they're making a Norway flag and they don't realize it's from Norway. And to be honest, I don't think I knew that the Scandinavian countries were not in.
I didn't know that, but I would have known that if I went on The Amazing Race.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I would have studied. I would know every single flag.
You know flags and country things. You just have to. You know this.
Yeah. Okay. So, teams are showing up, whatever. Arun and Natalie, Sam and Connie, they're at the darts. They're struggling.
They're doing darts.
The twins finally get to the cakes.
Sam and Connie are actually going to pass Arun and Natalia at the darts. Now, Arun, killing it at darts.
Oh.
Killing it.
That's right.
And I enjoyed watching the way that they worked together because he was like really kind of like, come on, you need to do it like this. But he was also very supportive of her. And she didn't freak out. She was like, I know. Okay. I just need to feel like she knew she needed to keep working on it. She questioned maybe if they should change. No, do not. You're getting it. And they eventually do. But Connie gets it a little quicker.
Yeah, she does. I mean, that was amazing. I think I'm really going to like Sam and Connie. I was worried about them in that first leg, but they show up second at the pit stop. I mean, Ryan and Dusty are first, and they show up on that double-decker bus, and they're like, it feels like, so how do you think you did? They're like, we're first. You're pretty confident about that. Really? It feels like, yeah, you are first.
Yes, you are.
But Sam and Connie second to check in, so that was exciting for them.
Okay, Raquel and Kayla are gonna eventually get their cake correct. They had to go back because the UK is not in the EU.
Raquel was like, I literally don't watch any news. And I know the instinct is for us to be like, ugh, she doesn't watch any news. Like, you should be informed and blah, blah. But part of me was like, you must have a great life. Like, if you don't watch the news, you're not taking in any of this depressing stuff. Like, woo, man, you just are like floating up here above all of us. We're like depressed about COVID and all of this stuff.
It's true. I mean, there's probably something in the middle there. You know, maybe don't watch all the news.
Yeah.
But like have a headline. Have a headline that Brexit equals
truly
UK no longer the EU.
Yeah.
You don't have to know what that means.
Yeah.
Just know that. You know, that kind of thing.
Right.
Because I bet life is wonderful not knowing anything horrible going on whatsoever.
Bliss.
Yeah. Right?
So, but
she might have learned about COVID eventually. Adam, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she didn't know about COVID at this point.
when she no longer could race. She's like, what's this now?
She's like, what's coronavirus?
Okay.
What is that?
Gotcha.
I love it. But, we're getting a lot of these cake check-ins, not just the flight attendants. So, they have to redo theirs. But
Anthony and Spencer on a second. Mm-hmm.
That's right, because they did Norway. We see the Holderness check-in. They also did Norway, and then their German cake sucks. So they have to fix that. So people are having to go back and, fix some mistakes on the cake. But the twins finally make it to the cakes, and there are still 4 teams there. So they're feeling like, okay, maybe we got this. Like, we're still in it. We're not so far behind here.
And honestly, they get the perk of let's just do what they're doing. Like, you don't have to think about it much. If you are the 3rd, 4th team there, just copy someone else, because if they have to redo it, that's fine. That's better than you just completely messing up. Right.
Mm-hmm,
so so they've got that. So Ray and Caro are actually going to they're the first team to get the cakes right the first time.
Right. Yeah.
And she did seem to have some knowledge about the German flag.
She definitely did. Yeah.
She jumped on that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But so we're going to start to get some pit stops here. We're on a double decker, and the editing of this was sus. And I was like, what's happening during this?
Oh.
And we find out at the end, but I really actually appreciated that they saved this.
Me too.
Information is not really a twist, but this like information till the
Reveal.
last team. They kept us invested through all of this, worried about the last teams when we didn't have to be. So I really appreciated that they did this.
Yeah, because I didn't necessarily like flag it in my brain at the time, but there was no like, Ryan and Dusty, you're first and you win a trip to blah, blah, blah. Like they didn't do the Travelocity plug, you know? So that should have been a little bit of a red flag.
It just kept cutting. And there were some points when Phil was doing VO. We didn't even see Phil say like, your team 8. We were just hearing it. I was like, what is happening? He's like, here, have some tea. And then cutting away. I was like,
yeah,
this is so abrupt. Maybe just something dramatic was going to happen at the end that they're saving time for. You know, I wasn't really sure why. But first place, Ryan and Dusty. Way to go. Yeah. They were second last week or last leg. So
they are the team to beat right now after these 2 legs. And then Sam and Connie are second.
That's a huge jump for them.
Yeah, very exciting.
A much better leg for them.
Mm-hmm.
Third place, Arun and Natalia.
Yeah, that's exciting. So it's like the darts was the way to go. You know, that's the lesson that we're taking away from this. I
guess so. Mm-hmm.
Because they are our first 3 teams.
Yes.
And then who was fourth? Oh, Raquel and Kayla. So they are the first team from the Cakes who makes it there. Mm-hmm. Now, when the cake check-ins are happening, right? They're continuing to happen.
Yeah.
We've seen the Holdernesses make it through. Like you said, Caro and Ray got through on the first try. Even though I will say the judge on this was not as discerning as the judge on the art piece in the first leg, where he was like, ooh, this one line doesn't line up. Like, these cakes looked a mess. And this chef in a chef's hat was like, amazing. I would put this in my case right now. It's like, no, you absolutely would not. But I loved also like Sherry and Akbar as they like set down the cakes. And Sherry's like, please. And then he's like, oh, France looks great. And she's like, thank you, God. I was like, yes, Sherry, I love you.
I love Sherry. Well, she's like, I bake. So this is my leg. My husband's not yelling at me I can do this one.
Yeah.
So it better go well. And it did. It was fine. It was lovely. Yeah, it was I was thrown by the judge of the cake when he was like, okay, so UK, not in the EU. I was like, why are you telling them?
Yeah.
Like, you don't usually get information from a judge, but they would have been there forever if he was just like, figure it out.
Yeah. He easily could have been like, this is wrong. Yeah. And I'm not telling you why.
Right. A lot of times that's what you get. You're just like, wrong.
That's right.
And you're like, okay, I have 2 cakes. What is wrong?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but anyway, so they knew to go back and do 1 cake or whatever they needed to do, fix the blackberry drips on Penn's cake.
Mm-hmm.
But the Holderness are going to come in 5th place here. Not too shabby. Ray and Caro are 6th. Yep. Spencer and Anthony, big drop for them. They're going to come in 7th.
Because they were like in a cab that seemed to be like, there were only a couple of cabs that really seemed to be struggling with the traffic and like all these road closures. And that really took out Anthony and Spencer. And they're like, their cab drivers were like, I have taken every back road I can possibly think of. And they're like, we know, we've been there with you taking every back road. Can you just get us to the bus, please?
Yeah. But again, they're like chill. And I don't know if this is going to, like, it worked fine in the first leg, but sitting in a car that you're just like, are we close? What road? And you can see them internally, like, not happy, but they're not saying much about it. They're not being proactive. They're not getting out and changing taxis. I mean, not that you necessarily should, but like, they just have this kind of reserved vibe about them.
Mm-hmm.
And it might not have worked in their favor this leg, but obviously fine last leg.
Yeah. But big drop for them, like you said.
Yes.
Was it Akbar and Sherry who checked in 8th?
Mm-hmm. Yes. They're 8th. Taylor and Isaiah are going to come in 9th.
Even though theirs was another cab that was really taking forever and struggling. But the twins were just so far back. The twins are now bickering about an ex-boyfriend of one of them. And
by the way, okay, first off, I don't know. Was it Lulu or Lala who has the ex who is
I will never know.
jerk?
Yeah.
But he's a jerk. And how dare you tell anyone that they're not going to make it?
Why would you say that?
Rude.
Yeah.
And if you ever let anyone say that to you, call me. I'll talk you down. But then, like, she brings it up. The other one's like, how dare you? We're in a race. And then she like gets emotional about it in the cab. I think partially because she's like, how dare you let it bring you down?
Yeah.
But now they're fighting about it.
I was confused about which one was emotional and why. Like, it seemed like the one who was trying to defend her sister is the emotional one.
Yes. You would think it's the one talking about her ex is emotional, but it's the other one who's now emotional about her sister bringing up her ex. But the sister who brought up her ex is now mad at the sister who's emotional.
Yeah,
whoa.
There was just a lot going on.
It was a lot. But again, I love twins. Their relationship is just nothing incredible. I'll ever understand. Yeah. And again, they can say anything to each other and it's just pure entertainment.
And they will like tear each other's hair out, but they will still love each other so deeply. It's
so deeply. It's so amazing. And good news, everybody.
Still racing.
They're still racing.
Yes. So they're like chugging their cups of tea. They're like, we got to go. Shut up, Phil. We got to go. Like, give us the clue. We're out of here.
Phil, don't give me tea. I got to go.
Yeah.
He's like, do you want some tea? It's so awkward. Someone is serving tea on a bus. It's not really where you serve tea.
Yeah.
They're holding cups and she's pouring. And he's like, and by the way, you're still racing. And they're like, I got to go to Scotland, Phil. Bye.
Right. So I assume like it seemed like, okay, you're going to go catch a train. So my guess is that they're all going to be on the same train to Scotland. But in this preview, we're there. And then at some point, they are all assembled. Behind the scenes, we're seeing the camera guys, the producers, all these people. And Phil collects everybody in one shot and says, we're shutting it down. The coronavirus.
There's this thing called the coronavirus. I was like,
remember when we called it the coronavirus?
Yes, for a few months. It's so weird to hear someone speaking of it as if it's not something they know. Remember, we did not know what the heck it was at one point.
Oh, for sure.
So we're going to get Scotland and we're going to get a shutdown for COVID. Here's what will be interesting though, because on our cast assessment video, we discussed the logistical numbers here. Because we know 2 teams don't come back for logistical reasons or for whatever reason broke up. But I'm pretty sure.
Right.
What'd you say?
It's only 7 teams who return.
Right. But only 7 teams return. So that means because this was a keep racing leg, someone will be eliminated in this next third leg.
Or did they say 4 people couldn't come back specifically, or could it possibly be that 3 teams can't come back for logistical reasons?
They said 2 teams don't return from the reset.
Okay. So then, it seems like someone's going to get eliminated in Scotland. And then maybe it's like the next morning, like they finish that leg. And then the next morning, Phil gathers everybody together and is like, it's over.
Right. It could be on the next leg morning of. If we were going to get someone eliminated the second leg and we already had 2 people eliminated, then we would know that the third leg gets cut. No one gets eliminated. That third, whoever was in last place is going to come back. But I think we are still going to get a team eliminated for 7 teams to still return.
Yeah. My guess
That's
is
how it works out.
Think back with me to that time when we didn't really know what the coronavirus was. The response was not like, shut it down, everybody go home. Like the response definitely would have been like, okay, finish this leg and then send everybody home. So it was not so like, we were not like pulling the trigger on canceling everything at the beginning of the coronavirus. So I'm sure they were like, okay, it's getting bad, but we can finish this Scotland leg and then we'll shut it down. So they probably saw it through and eliminated someone.
Right. I mean, because honestly, they thought Elise and Bertram and Phil thought they were probably just shutting down for 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't realize it was going to be a massive over a year and a half reset. So, but we know that 7 teams come back.
Yes.
After the reset. So if eliminated teams were part of that, then that means several people didn't make it back.
Right. I mean, so maybe they would do that if there is some like big, like, oh my, like 4 teams of our remaining teams can't come back. This is a mess. Let's give the eliminated teams another chance so that we have a show to make. Like maybe if that was the case, they did that, but I don't know. I don't think that they would automatically give them a chance to come back, but
we'll Yep. Once again, Adam, we are going to see teams not knowing how to drive stick.
Yes.
On Amazing Race. The only people I will give a pass to is Ray and Carl because they did not realize they were going on to Amazing Race. Like they got a short amount of time, right? They don't get to prep as much because they came off of Love Island. They went into another show, right? But all the other teams went through a casting process. They had plenty of time to learn to drive stick, just like you got to learn your flags. Like these are just basics.
It's basics. If you go on Survivor, learn how to make fire. If you go on Amazing Race, learn the flags and learn to drive stick. It's just the basics.
Yes, that's all we're asking. Although I am always entertained when you cannot drive stick. So that's fine.
Don't. Yeah.
If you're just wanting to entertain me. But if you would like to win the race.
Yeah.
Your choice. Up to you.
Yeah.
Up to you. Well, that's it, you guys. Next week, like we said, going to Scotland. Then we're going to have a COVID shutdown. And then episode 3, we will get a different vibe. Phil is going to say, whoa, COVID, been so long. How are you? Oh, people died in your life. Like huge things have changed in people's lives during this pandemic. There's going to be a definite, change in energy production, everything that we will then see on the 3rd episode. And also that 3rd episode will then open up press exit interviews that we will have for you here on Nerdtainment, as well as all the other outlets, but we will definitely have them here as well.
Yes.
So excited to get into this season and see how it really resets, honestly.
I know, right? I am excited. And did you notice the Celebrity Big Brother promo?
I did.
February 2nd.
February 2nd.
Starting. So
David and I will definitely be covering that. We are very excited about that. They didn't give us much of a hint.
They didn't.
On any celebrities, but they were like, hey, celebs are coming.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, we're about it. Bring it. Bring it, CBS. We want it in our lives. Well, did everyone, are your all's teams still in it? Is it just me who lost a team?
Yeah, mine are. I picked the dudes, the bros, and the Holdernesses. Those were my top 3. So,
yeah, when is BB Canada coming back? I don't think they've got a date yet, or at least I haven't noticed
release a cast, right?
They have a cast already?
Oh no!
Oh my God, no! Really? If they haven't missed it
on Jolene's channel about a BB Canada cast or something. I don't know.
Well, you got to be careful. Jolene just likes to throw out ideas. Okay. Yeah. She knows how to get them views. Yeah. I don't know if anything's official. If it is, I've missed it. But we will definitely be back for BB Can. That's an absolute must. Yeah. Usually March. That's right. So we have a little bit of time for that. No shade. We love Jolene.
Oh, we love her.
She knows how to get them views.
She's good. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. They're still casting.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, hi.
Yay. All right. Well, rooting for all the other teams. So sad I lost my singing cops.
Yeah.
But great start to the season. Excited to watch it all with you guys. You guys in the chat. We love you first. We love you the most. Thank you for joining us. You're the best.
And you guys later. We love you first. We love you the most. Please leave us a comment and tell us what you thought about, you know, the elimination of the singing cops, and you know, who are you sort of rooting for now? Who are your favorite teams, personality wise and performance wise?
That's right. You can have it all. You can
That's
have
right.
it all. Let us know how you are feeling about it all, and we will see you next week.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.